Welcome back. This is now Media Watch. James Creedon's here. James, the events in Egypt obviously sort of continue. We're into a fifth day of straight protesting there. And of course, increased criticism of the tactics used by the army. The death toll stands at least 35 people. That's the official version. People in the square saying there's a lot more people have been killed. Tell us what you found online.
Well, from day one, Mark, from earlier this weekend, people were talking about the tear gas being used by the police and the military not being the same as the tear gas that was used back in January and February. That was hearsay. That's what people were saying on Twitter and on social media. Now, if we have a look at an article in the Guardian newspaper in the UK today, they've sort of brought together a lot of those strands of information we've been getting. And they say that there are reports of 3 different types of tear gas being used. The more traditional, what's known as CS gas, that's what the US would use for demonstrations in its own country, but also reports of 2 other kinds known as CN and CR gas. Now, both are more dangerous than the traditional CS gas. They can cause unconsciousness and seizures. Now, there are canisters of CS gas. That's, again, the more traditional one. Even that, if it's more than 5 years old, if there are old stocks of it being used, apparently it can be more toxic as well. So it's not, people aren't sure whether or not the perception that this gas is worse than back in January or February. Is it old stocks that are being used, or is it different kinds of tear gas? Now, there are just reports for now, no proof. But
certainly the effect that you're talking about there in the article that it says it's had on people. Our correspondent in Cairo is backing that up, saying that she's seen people having convulsions after having been caught up in this gas.
Well, it's pretty interesting because the Guardian video, one of their videographers caught pictures in a Cairo hospital of that, and I think it's worth taking a look. We have the testimony as well of a doctor who was treating some of these people.
My name is Dr. Ahmed Saad. Ahmed Saad. I'm 31. I'm a consultant surgeon. We have been attacked by 4 types of different types of gas bombs. The patient comes with convulsions. I never seen a patient with convulsions in asphyxia. It's very hard. It's very hard.
Those pictures appearing to show someone having convulsions. The gentleman there saying he's a consultant surgeon, trying to obviously reassure people watching that what he's saying isn't made up. It's the truth as he sees it, saying that he has obviously a reputation to maintain.
Right.
It's alarming stuff to see, isn't it?
It is indeed. Now, just very quickly, they're saying in that article in The Guardian as well that similar reports were made earlier this year in Yemen, where demonstrators suffered convulsions after being hit by old stocks of CN gas. So certainly it appears the effects are there to be seen.
OK, we'll be keeping an eye on that story, of course, here on France 24. Now, after intervention in Libya, the question people are asking is, does France now want to do something similar in Syria? What's the evidence online?
Well, the Canard Enchaîné comes out in a Wednesday satirical newspaper. They're saying that special agents working for France and for Britain are trying to get in touch, or have been in touch, with dissidents from the Syrian army. Now, one pretty well-known dissident by the name of Colonel Riyad al-Assad, he's been in Turkey for the last 2 months. Apparently, there are many dissidents who are already in Turkey, and France and Britain are trying to, according to this article, are perhaps going to give technical assistance and also help to bring together the first contingents in what would be the Free Syrian Army. Now, one high-ranking member of French army intelligence is quoted in the Canard Enchaîné as saying there is no intention of getting involved to the same degree as in Syria. But it does seem from this article that the French and the British behind the scenes may be working to help out those dissidents from the Syrian army.
And a name irony there, President Assad they're trying to get rid of, and al-Assad, the head of the new rebel army.
Perhaps the same broader family. Now, I'll just show you, there's a couple of pictures, Mark. There was one other item in the French press today about coming out of Syria. These are photos that were released by a photojournalist by the name of Mani. Very few pictures coming out of what's happening in Syria. Now, what he has done is he concealed his identity. He got a number of photos. These are actually Syrian army dissidents. He got photos of them in Homs, operating out of Homs. You had other photos of funeral scenes, and there's one pretty upsetting photo perhaps at the end showing a body outside a mosque. In any case, it's worth checking out. It's on the Le Monde website, and it's
stuff, James.
Giving an insight into what's happening in Homs and elsewhere.
Thank you, James. Thank you very much indeed. James Creedon there with Media Watch. Stay with us. A short break, then a full round-up of the day's news and sport, including a look at a show that's bringing a taste of Cuba to the French capital.